To my 852 subscribers here, we've just launched a new channel where we are interviewing acquisition entrepreneurs that have done all of this stuff before, that have bought a business, gone all the way through the process and eventually sold, or perhaps have a holding company. So I want you guys to go down into the comments and subscribe to the Deals Down Under podcast YouTube account. Our first interview, I've got an excerpt from for you guys. So if you stick around, you can watch that. Otherwise, just go straight there, subscribe, and everything that's going to be happening is going to be happening on that channel from now on. So see you guys there. How are those deals structured for them? What do they hope to end up with as a percentage of the business at the end of the whole exercise? And
Sure.
where do they kind
Yeah,
of see their cheese? Yeah.
sure. So in answering that question, I'll use the traditional search fund model to describe it. And then most non-traditional search fund models have some kind of parallels to this core structure. But so in principle, if I'm the entrepreneur or the searcher in the search fund model, I don't have to invest any of my own capital into the equity of the transaction. I can if I want, but I don't have to. I would raise a small amount of money at the beginning of the search phase so that I can then quit my job and search full time. That small amount of money, might be in the $600,000 or $700,000 range and should give me enough runway to last about 24 months of searching before completion of a deal. From that, I can draw a small salary. I can pay a few interns to do some research for me. I can do some due diligence. I can pay for some marketing and travel, and it gives me a little working budget to perform the search function. What happens at acquisition is that if I complete an acquisition, I get, and again, I'll describe this in terms of options, but from a tax perspective, there are various other structures that you can use that aren't options to create the same commercial outcome. But let's just call it options for now. I get three options. One option for 8 1/3% of the fully diluted equity gets granted on acquisition. So we complete the acquisition and I immediately get 8 1/3% of the equity. Over the subsequent 4 years, I get another 8 1/3% kind of vesting annually along that period. So at the end of 4 years after completing an acquisition, I then have 16 2/3% of the equity. And then at the time when we sell the business, which on average over the last however many decades of this structure being in place is usually between 5 and 7 years post-acquisition, if the return to the investors who have put in capital exceeds 35% IRR, then I'll get another 8 1/3%, and my total exposure will be 25% of the equity. So now there's a bunch of detail in there around waterfall structures, investing, and like sliding scales and all that sort of stuff, but ignore all of that. Effectively, if I'm the acquisition entrepreneur, my aspiration is to take some investor capital, deploy that into an acquisition, run and grow the business for about 5 to 7 years, exit it and give the investors a 35% plus IRR and take away 25% of the equity.